For as long as we've looked up at the night sky, we've asked the same question. Are we alone? But what if we've been asking it backwards? What if the search for alien life has always assumed a strange starting point? That we, human beings, are the natural ones, the baseline, the measure by which everything unfamiliar gets called extraterrestrial. But look closer at what we actually are. A species that builds machines to leave the very planet that made us. A species haunted by a persistent, almost irrational pull to look up rather than down. A species that arrived on this world relatively recently, in evolutionary terms, radically more intelligent than anything else here, with no clear, undisputed line connecting us in a smooth, gradual climb from the rest of life on Earth. There is a strange scientific mystery sometimes called the Great Silence. The fact that a universe old enough and vast enough to be teeming with intelligent life appears, as far as we can detect, empty. But what if the silence isn't about them? What if it's about us? What if the reason we've never found the aliens is that we already are the anomaly we've been looking for? It sounds like fiction. Maybe it is fiction, but sit with it for a moment. Because the moment you take the idea seriously, even briefly, it changes the way you look at your own reflection. To take this idea seriously, you first have to notice something odd about human beings that we rarely stop to question. How strange it is that we exist the way we do at all. Every other species on this planet fits its environment almost perfectly. A fish is shaped by water. A bird is shaped by air. Their bodies, their instincts, their entire way of being are tightly bound to the world they evolved in. Humans are different. We are, by comparison, physically unimpressive. No claws, no fur thick enough for real cold, no natural weapons. And yet, we possess something wildly disproportionate to our animal needs. Abstract reasoning, mathematics, music, the ability to imagine futures that do not yet exist, and pasts we never lived through. Evolution tends to give organisms only what they need to survive and reproduce. It rarely hands out surplus. And yet here we are, a species with a mind seemingly built for far more than foraging and mating ever required. This oddity has led some thinkers, including certain philosophers and even a few serious scientists, to entertain what is sometimes called the directed panspermia hypothesis. The idea, first floated by figures like Francis Crick, that life on Earth, or the intelligence that shapes it, may not have originated here at all, but was seeded, deliberately or accidentally, from somewhere else. Think of it like software installed on unfamiliar hardware. A fish's mind runs software perfectly matched to its watery hardware. A human mind, by contrast, sometimes feels like software running on hardware that wasn't quite designed for it. Capable of asking questions about infinity, mortality, and meaning that offer no survival advantage whatsoever, and yet which we cannot stop asking. If our capacities outpace our evolutionary need this dramatically, the unsettling question becomes, where did the surplus come from? And once you ask that question sincerely, a second one follows close behind, one far less comfortable than the first. The uncomfortable question is this: if we are the ones who arrived somehow different from everything around us, what does that make everything else? The animals, the ecosystems, the planet itself that we've spent centuries treating as raw material for our use. Because this is precisely where the "we are the aliens" idea runs into serious resistance, and for good reason. Evolutionary biology does not need a mysterious surplus to explain human intelligence. It offers a well-supported account, brain size and social complexity feeding each other in a runaway loop, tool use rewarding cooperation, language accelerating culture, and culture accelerating brain development further still. Under this view, there is no gap to fill with speculation. Human uniqueness is not evidence of an outside origin. It is evidence of what evolution can produce when several rare pressures compound over millions of years. The philosopher's razor cuts here too. Do not multiply mysterious explanations when an ordinary one already accounts for the evidence. There is also a deeper problem lurking underneath the aliens framing itself, one worth sitting with rather than rushing past. To call ourselves alien to Earth is to quietly repeat an old and dangerous story. The idea that humanity stands apart from nature, above it, entitled to treat it as foreign territory rather than home. This is not a new mistake. It's the same assumption that historically justified viewing the natural world as something to conquer rather than something we belong to. If the human beings are the aliens idea has any lasting appeal, it may be less because it is scientifically probable and more because it flatters something we already secretly believe about ourselves, that we are special, separate, exceptions to the rules that govern everything else alive. And yet, the discomfort doesn't fully dissolve. Because even granting every reasonable evolutionary explanation, something remains strange about a species that can calculate the age of the universe, compose symphonies, and ask whether its own existence has meaning, using a brain built, supposedly, only to help its ancestors avoid predators and find food. Maybe we are not aliens in any literal sense, but maybe the word alien was never really about biology to begin with. Maybe it was always about distance, the distance between what a mind can do and what a mind was strictly built for. So perhaps the honest answer sits somewhere between the two extremes. We are not visitors seeded from another star, dropped onto a planet that isn't ours. The evidence for that is thin, and the story, however seductive, asks us to believe in mystery, where a simpler explanation already does the work. But we are also not simply another animal, fully at home in the ordinary sense that a fish is at home in water. Perhaps what makes us feel alien is not our origin, but our orientation. We are creatures shaped entirely by this planet, and yet the only ones on it who can stand at a distance from it, who can imagine leaving, question our place here, mourn what we've damaged, and dream of what we might become. That very ability to step outside the world and look back at it, to treat existence itself as a question rather than a given, may be the real strangeness people are pointing to when they reach for the word alien. Not a different address in the universe, a different relationship to the one address we've always had.